Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In The Mixer as we continue our Hashtag United series in Football Manager 2019. Episode 53. We're now beyond one episode a week for the year, which is fantastic. And we are a little bit further ahead of where I said we were going to come back. I said we'd come back and play Liverpool and Everton at the start of December. But in reality, the way the season was going, I kind of wanted to jump forward a little bit and call in the cavalry and get the January transfer window. One, so that you guys can see what we would do in that environment, because I haven't actually done a whole lot of live transfer activity in episodes. I've kind of tried to focus on doing the administrative tasks and transfer windows and all that sort of stuff outside of episodes. And considering we're probably in the last couple of episodes of the series, I thought it'd be handy to let you guys see me go through that process. Still edited, still trying to cut out some of the boring stuff, but at least include it in the episode so you can see how I go through it and some of the things that I try and leverage and do to get players to come in. But also because we have struggled quite a bit so far this season. We're currently sitting down in 16th spot, which isn't terrible, but you can see there is massive fixture congestion. We're only up on goal difference at the moment. Stoke and Wolves are also on 17 points. Wolves are actually in the relegation spots, and Swansea in 19th are on 15 points, only 2 points behind us. So throughout 20 games, we've had 11 defeats, 5 draws, and 4 wins. If you go back to that last episode where we played Leicester and Manchester United, we then got pummeled again by Manchester City, and I thought, okay, we need to go back to the drawing board a little bit on how we're going to approach games with teams in the top 6, and we have made a couple of tweaks. I'll go through those in a second. We then turned around, got our first Premier League victory against Burnley, and then beat Wolves in the Carabao Cup, rotating quite a bit. A lot of the backup players from the squad have played in this game and did really well. We then lost 2-1 to Arsenal at home. Disappointing to concede a penalty late in the game. Marina Isanovic converted that one to get them the victory, and then I thought, okay, let's go and have a look. Let's see what we can change tactically to kind of adapt, because in that first month we didn't really retain possession all that well. I think every game we had about 40% of the ball, and the biggest issue is you can't score if you don't have the ball, and also the opposition, they can't score if they don't have it by the same token. So we've brought back the ball playing defenders in central defence across all three of our mentalities. And the idea behind that is that our centre-backs are going to start looking for shorter passes rather than looking for long balls over the top. They still have that in their locker, and we still have seen that happen a couple of times. But if we can retain possession more and keep the ball longer, it's less likely that the opposition will be able to break us down or find gaps or pick the ball out or whatever else. And it has improved. We're starting to get up towards 50 and 60% possession again, which is what we really need. We did see an immediate turnaround, beating Blackburn 4-0, our best result of the season, but then I got arrogant and I played our positive structure away to Tottenham, and they thumped us 7-1, which was an embarrassing defeat to say the least. I didn't really care much about the game against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, so we played our rotated side again, and they got pretty well humbled, but I wasn't too worried. Then a 1-1 draw with Swansea, which was a bit disappointing. We were much better than them in this game. A couple of injuries, a couple of knocks, whatever else hurt us early on. A 2-0 defeat against Southampton, a 1-0 defeat against Newcastle, a 3-3 draw against Watford, and then I thought, no, I've had enough, and I sat down and thought about how we're using our positive structure, how we're using our cautious structure, and we're starting to rotate a little bit more based on the opposition that we're playing in that particular game, and also how close together our games are. We still are having a lot of Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday games, and we need to manage that a bit more effectively, because our first 11's really good, but our 21 as a squad isn't great. The way we've been using it since is effectively we're using our positive mentality if we're playing someone around our level at home, and then we're pulling out the cautious mentality if we're playing a top 6 side away. And that's all pretty much immediate return to form. We beat Liverpool at Anfield 1-0 using our cautious mentality. Peter Orifu came off the bench in the 87th minute and got the winner for us, which was a great result. We then played out an absolute classic at home against Everton. We took the lead early on. We were actually 2-1 up at half-time. They pulled one back through Eric Ashcroft and another stupid penalty that we shouldn't have given away. I've watched so many VAR replays in the last few months. It's absolutely horrific. And then for whatever reason, FM did what FM does. We switched back to our positive mentality to play Crystal Palace, who at the time were 19th in the league, and West Ham, who were rock bottom of the division and only had 6 points to that stage. And we lost 4-1 to Crystal Palace. They sacked their manager the weekend before. We played the first game against the new manager, and what do you know, they're all of a sudden this phenomenal, amazing team, and they absolutely torched us. But we had a ton of chances in that game. Realistically, if we had taken all the highlights that we had, we'd have won at 7-4. We just couldn't find our finishing boots that day. West Ham, a 1-1 draw. They pulled back a goal from a set piece. It was the only highlight they had in the entire game. We also missed a penalty in that match, which is super frustrating because those 3 points would have been very important. And then switching back to our cautious mentality, away from home, up at Old Trafford, we had an excellent 2-2 draw. Goal ahead through Jan Kolbass, a scrappy goal. So I can't complain about anything that West Ham got because we scored two crappy... crappy is the right word, but two scrappy goals from set pieces. Jan Kolbass put his head in the 9th. Dimos Maitidis scored in the 16th. He's a phenomenal England international. Jadon Sancho with an amazing assist for that goal. And they went 2-1 up. Daniel Barlia with kind of a goalkeeper mistake for Dominic Rojak, and thankfully Kolbass pulled one back in the 53rd minute. Essentially our best player so far this season, Benny Mulgard, picked up an injury in that game, which is super frustrating. We do have reinforcements coming. The cavalry has arrived, and we're going to have a quick look at them. They should actually join us today. First, Vladimir Kolar, who you are already aware of, joins later in the day. Central defender, left-sided central defender from the Czech Republic. He's going to be fantastic, continuing to play despite being 18 for the Czech Republic national side. Other teams have been interested in coming in for him. Thankfully, we already have that one stitched up. I've also gone for Radajko Zivanovic, Serbian left back. Our worst player this season has been Ignacio McCann, without a doubt. We have taken him off pretty much every game that he's played. The only unfortunate thing is that man who replaces him most weeks, Sam Birch, has an equally awful match rating. So 6.65 and 6.55 respectively for the two left backs. We want to try and bring someone in, and I want to try and bring someone in that has high potential that we can actually develop to be our own player. So he's not going to set the world on fire or anything like that. He's only 1.5-star current ability, but he does have 5-star potential. We are going to own him. He's on a long-term deal. He's not on a ton of wage a week, and he's going to join us from Partizan Belgrade and hopefully play a bit better on that left wing. Kanovic, I spoke about him in the last game, and for whatever reason, I just wasn't paying attention. He doesn't actually join us until the end of this season, which is a bummer, but, at least for Season 2, hopefully, fingers crossed in the Premier League, he will come in. Tomas Gresci, the guy that we picked up that's going to join us today, he's an inverted winger, so a right-footed player playing on the left wing. We just need a little bit more quality. Joe Carter's a bit inconsistent, and I love Anthony Gilligan, but you can tell that he's at his ceiling. Full Hungarian international, played quite a few games for someone only 19. And then the big one, the one I'm most excited about, Jorge or George Sosa, joining today, Uruguayan international, 10 caps, 1 goal, played for them at the most recent World Cup. He's going to come in and pretty much come straight into the lineup. Mulgard's injury isn't that bad because we have Sosa coming in. So he'll come straight in, and then eventually once Mulgard gets back to full fitness, and get them working together as a partnership, get Benny Mulgard a bit of support. He's already scored 10 goals for us this season and been excellent. If we can get him a strike partner that's getting the same level of production or setting him up have been to date, I think we'll get enough goals to keep us clear of those relegation spots. The other one you see here is a 16-year-old regen, Nen, a Brazilian wunderkind. He's not a wunderkind status yet, he's just an enthusiastic striker, but when I found him at Corinthians, he was 15 years old. He's got 16 finishing, 16 first touch, 18 teamwork, a whole bunch of really great stats that are going to continue to grow and develop. He doesn't join us until the 3rd of July 2032 when he turns 17. Oh no, it must be when he turns 18 because it's still another 12 months away at least. Of course means, I'm kidding, don't panic, we're not going to do it. I just thought I'd make you laugh. But yeah, advance forward, he's going to be absolutely fantastic for us. So when he eventually gets here, we're going to have 4 high quality strikers, 4 Premier League quality strikers, and that's really what we need at the moment. The last one I want to show you guys is we've been given the opportunity with the start of the transfer window to change our season expectations, and I'm going to push it up to avoid relegation so that we can get an extra 1.69 million in the budget, a bit of extra wage budget as well. We're going to confirm that, and there's another guy that I want to go after to try and bring in this transfer window just to give us a little bit more depth. And his name is Brian Mina, Ecuadorian, full international, 13 caps and 7 goals despite only being 19. He's wanted by a whole bunch of different clubs, and there's always a good way to validate a signing that you don't know that much about if big clubs like Porto, like Benfica are going in for. And I tried to haggle for a while with Liga de Quito, but in reality the best way to get him is to just pay at his release clause, 1.2 million. We have that in the transfer budget now by changing our expectations for the season. So we're going to make that offer, and hopefully when he comes back he wants responsible amount of wages so that we can bring him in. There's quite a few guys I'm trying to get rid of and offload. Like you can see the guys down here, Eric Craggs, Scott Egan, Carl Watson, Sam Birch will likely go. Anthony Gilligan will stay forever because I love him, but Peter Orifu as well. If we can get 5 signings in, we've got 4 lined up. If we can get that 5th, these guys will probably move on. We'll send them down to championship sides, and we'll hopefully have a squad of mostly high potential players and mostly high current ability as well, because we really need that. And before I forget to mention him, Keisuke Ogura, who did sign at the start of the season, has gone back to Saitama. He played a couple of games for us at the start of the year, but then came and said that he was homesick and wasn't settling in England. I tried to do a couple of different things to get him to stay. He didn't want to, so it was best just to push him back. A whole bunch of different clubs in England came in for him. We rejected those offers when Saitama came back in with essentially the same amount that we paid, so 1.7 up front, and then another 300k once he makes a few more appearances for the Japanese national side. So he's effectively just gone back to the club that we picked him up from. We haven't really lost any money out on it, other than the wages that we paid him while he was here. But that's why you can't see him here. Let's jump ahead a little bit and let's welcome the new guys in. So we just spoke about him, but the 4 signings that are coming in are Jorge Sosa, George, I'm just going to call him, Tamas Goreshi, Vladimir Kola, and Radoshko Zabinovic. I've probably butchered all those pronunciations, but that's what you're getting. We're going to send the guys that don't speak any English on intensive language courses to try and help them settle. And we're also going to ask Watson, who's the current vice captain, to welcome each of them to the squad. Carl Watson is likely heading to Coventry. They made a 100k offer for him. That's more than enough. I just need to get rid of his wages, to be completely honest with you. And hopefully a few more players will come in that will allow us to push on some of the guys that aren't quite ready for the step up beyond Championship football or even League One football. Robbie Sutherland's progressing well, currently at a Championship level, potential to be a decent Premier League right midfielder. That's about where we're at. We're a good Championship side, but not quite yet a Premier League team. And hopefully getting these high potential players in is going to help us push to that level. Cole Bass has won the Young Player of the Month award, well deserved. Dominic Rojak has been there as well. We had a pretty good December, to be honest, in terms of points we picked up. But really, we need that to pick up in 2031 and get us through. Mark Maguire, long free kick against West Ham, got him amongst the goals of the month. Alright, so Brian Mina has agreed to open contract discussions, which is awesome. We're going to offer him 20k, which is the most that we're offering. You might remember for ages we had like a £300 a week limit that I set for myself so that I didn't go crazy with wages or anything like that. And then I think we had like a 1k limit and then a 2k limit for a long time when we were in the Championship. And now that we're in the Premier League, I'm setting a 20k limit so that I just don't go crazy with wages and give myself no room to move. Now there's always little extra bonuses you can offer that seem to help get players over the line. The big one for me at the moment is the relegation release clause. So if we go down the Championship, a lot of our players are free to leave on a free transfer. Probably not the smartest long-term solution, but I'm usually pretty good at avoiding getting relegated. It does happen, but it doesn't happen frequently enough that I'm worried about it now. The other one is the sell-on fee percentage. So if we sell him to another team, he'll get a certain amount of that transfer wage. And the reason I'm adding 20% is because effectively if someone comes in and bids, let's just say his value, or what we've paid for him, 1.2 million, I just have to get them to agree to 1.4, and then they've pretty much paid for that portion of it. So it's just about adding a little bit extra on top if you're trying to sell a player. I'm going to suggest that. He's come back with a not unreasonable response. We're going to try and get him down to 20k, just to stay disciplined. We're also going to push his agent fee up to 200, just rounding it to the nearest a lot. And hopefully his agent will help push that through. I don't want any yearly wage rises because it's hard to do financial projections with that sort of shit. We'll go 100k if he scores 20 goals. We'll give him an extra 25k if he scores 25 goals. His minimum free release clause, he wants 42 million. I'm okay with that. And let's suggest that one, and he's more than happy with that. So we've stayed within our limits in terms of the wages that we're willing to offer. We've given him sufficient bonuses in terms of appearances, all that sort of stuff. And we have also given him some performance-based stuff for the amount of goals that he's going to score this season. So it's not going to bankrupt us. It should still be within our transfer budget. I think it will put us a little bit over our wage budget, but hopefully we can offload some people and get rid of that extra expenditure. Yeah, so as it stands, we're currently 20k under. But Carl Watson heading out, we'll get rid of 10k of that, and then we're also going to try and get rid of some of these guys down towards the bottom. I've filled in the players where we think they're going to play for this next match. We've got a few players that are out and suspended, but I'll go through the lineup shortly. So that's who we're going to get rid of: Craggs, Birch, Watson, and Egan, hopefully, this transfer window. We might also, once we get rid of those guys, look at trying to bring in a central midfielder on loan just to give us a little bit of extra depth. We've got 3 high-quality ones, but you can kind of see Cole Bass is out suspended, which leaves Harrington playing with a young player in Scott Egan. if we had an extra fourth player that we could bring in that's first team quality, we'd be in a lot better shape. But more than enough talking from me. Let's jump forward to the game against Leicester now. Now, you guys know this Leicester side pretty well because we played them in the first episode. But Errol Gould was the goal scorer last time out. They've still got Wilmot and Declan Rice and Raya, who I can't remember where he was from, Blackburn I think it was, still going at the heart of their defence back there. We're going with our flat 4-4-2 shape. Mainly we're going to focus on the debutants who you've already seen. Kolar, Zivanovic, Qureshi and Sosa up top. Sullivan's been fantastic for us. Orafu wears the captain's armband. There's a good few players that are out, but given that we're also playing at home, Leicester are only 14th in the division. We're going to go with our positive mentality. We're going to see if you guys are the good luck charm and will actually help me out in this one. We nearly beat them last time, that 3-2 defeat. I really want to see if we can actually get a decent result. So we're just going to assertively say we're underdogs and that suits us, and we're going to tell the defence I think there's a lot more to come from you guys. And if the defence plays well, usually we create enough opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net. New signings are likely. We signed 4 new players today, so I don't know why they're asking me that. And away we go. Sosa with his first touch plays it back to Kolar, and they both get their #United careers underway. If we can get these guys to fulfil some of their potential and head up towards that wonder kid status, we do have a very young side. If we can keep in the division, we're going to be fantastic in the next few years. Qureshi with the ball forward to Orafu. He gets the head at target, but Raya gets his body behind it. So they're immediately working well from the set pieces. They have left 2 men forward, and they're playing it out to 1 now. Waldron with the ball forward. I thought this was going to be a highlight for us, but instead they've cut it back stick, and Errol with an excellent finish, 5th minute, and his 3rd goal of the season. He scored 2 of them against us, so he must just love playing. Really thought that was going to be a highlight for us, and I think one of the things I'll have to look at is now that we've signed these new players, and I didn't do it before we went into the game, some of our set piece takers might have changed, because I think our left back there, Zivanovic, went to help with the short corner, and really we don't need that. We need the 2 wingers taking the 2 short corners, and then the back 3 really staying back, so that we aren't ever in a situation like that where there's a 2v2 or a 3v2 or whatever else. But that will see us drop into the relegation spots, down into 18th position, though Wolves are playing elsewhere. Crystal Palace are 2-0 up somehow against Manchester City, so whatever coach they've signed in the last few weeks has absolutely turned their season around for them. Highlight here again, Marriage take a throw, it's headed away. We're getting out to him quicker, which was probably my biggest criticism of McCann. He didn't move to the ball quick enough, and that really hurt us. Gerde out to Baumgartner. They're crossing the ball to the other side quite well. Just working it from side to side. Mara steps in, finds Gerde again, and it's a deflected strike, and we are 2-0 down. Very disappointing. Let's just switch to our cautious mentality and see how it goes, because it worked last time. And they did knock it around quite well at the top of the box, but it's just so frustrating to have a deflection be... Yeah, it deflected off, I think it's the debutant Kolar, or Zivanovic, can't see because he won't turn around. There's not a whole lot that Rojak can do about that one once it moves at that speed. So looking at the other results, Stoke are currently drawing with Arsenal, Wolves and Southampton are also drawing. So if either of those sides lose the point that they currently have, we will jump above them. And there's Swansea are 2-0 up, so it means that they've jumped out of the relegation spot. So it's still super tight. Results still can go either way. We're just going to use our demand more shout. Everyone seems focused, which is good. But I'd love to get some sort of highlight before we get in for half-time. Not for them. Zudhock with a deep free kick. Harrington puts it back across, and thankfully Declan Rice pushes it over from inside the 18-yard box. First highlight for us, Holden with a deep free kick. There's a man back sticking. Gresham hits the deck and it pinballed around off the goalkeeper and the post, and he wasn't quick enough to get to the rebound to poke it home. But good that we've at least had something. Alright, we get to half time 2-0 down, 7 shots, 4 on target, 60% of the ball. They've had 11, 5 and 40%. Frustrating, given that we are at home, given that we have been playing a little bit better, given that the new signings are here. Assertively, I expect to see a much better showing from you in the second half. Fire that little bit of a rocket, see if we can get some sort of response. I'm going to leave us on cautious for 15 more minutes. If we don't pull anything back in that time, we might actually spend the last 30 minutes on attacking, which I very rarely do, but we might as well go for it. We're not going to do anything losing 2-0. Alright, so an hour gone, we're going to go after a little bit. We're going to switch to our attacking mentality, and we're going to make 3 subs. Debutant Kohler will come off for Vlachos. We're going to swap both the wingers. Carter will come on for Greshey, who had a great opportunity but just hasn't really fallen his way. And Sullivan, who's actually been one of our better players this season, and the most expensive player we have in the squad, hasn't played well. So we'll bring on Kevin Simpson, who's his understudy. And for 30 minutes, we're really going to go after it. There's a highlight here. It's come to Sullivan. Flicks it out towards Greshey. Back to Egan at the top of the box. And his strike from distance is just wide. So some sort of response, but those couple of guys are going to still... And we're also going to use Old Faithful, 60 minutes gone, our Get Creative shout. We're on attacking, so it does kind of go hand in hand with that. I do always wonder whether we're on cautious is the best thing to do, say Get Creative, because sometimes that just means we give the ball away too quickly. And looking around the grounds, Wolves currently drawing 2-2 with Southampton. Hopefully Southampton can find a winner, and Stoke have actually gone a goal down to Arsenal, which means we would only drop as low as 18th spot. But if Wolves concede again... Oh no, they've actually gone ahead now. They're up 3-2. So Wolves and Swansea are turning their results around, which means we need to pick up points as quickly as possible. Hubert with a free kick now. It's a good one. Rozak pushes it away. Harrington should tidy up. He's got a man down the line in Sosa if he can find him. Played forward to Simpson instead. And then the highlight ends. Raya with the goal kick. Long one forward. Should be a free header for Vlachos. He heads it back, but only into the midfield to Zudvik. Marah, I think it is. Marek, maybe. Harrington with a good tackle. Played forward to Sosa. Released to Orifu. He's got a man over in the fresh sub, Carter. Carter with the strike, but it never quite looked like troubling the goalkeeper. But a good counter. So we're into the last 10 minutes, which means we use our demand more shout. But you look at the match ratings that they've got here, we're not really troubling them in any respect. There's no one from our side that's doing well. Harrington's our highest with a 6.9. But they've got 8.3, 7.1, 7.2s. Guys they've just taken off are playing particularly well. 89th minute, Baumgartner with a deep free kick. Goes short to Mara, who steps inside. Ashley Maitland-Niles still playing, still plugging away, 13 seasons in. Played forward to Moxon. Someone's got to come to him. Said he walks past most of our defensive line and puts the ball home. Charlie Moxon, his third goal of the season. He's just run past, what's that, probably 6 defenders? 100th league goal of his career. Oh, that's frustrating. Because look, where does he pick it up? He picks it up inside the centre circle. Everyone just backs off him. He runs into space. Even once he runs into space, everyone backs off him again. Just chop him at halfway if you're going to let him run through you. And 3-0 down. Quite frustrating. Not the performance that I wanted to see. But at least we only have a couple of days to turn it around and go and play Man City, I think, at the Etihad. Highlight here, we're at the end of the additional 3 minutes, so I dare say it's going to just be the end of the game. And the referee calls full time. Disappointing 3-0 defeat in a game that we really should have been doing better with. Their match ratings say it all. Look at all that green. And from the first minute, really, we didn't do much to put them under pressure. So, aggressive. I'm not happy with that result. Debs just always tells me to just say random shit. So I've just basically been getting aggressive with the team when we lose because it's not acceptable. So it does see us drop down, I think, into the relegation spots. I didn't see what that Wolves game actually ended up, but we'll find out in a moment. We do. We fall into 18th spot in the Premier League. The few debuts have been highlighted there. Not winning debuts, which is disappointing, but... And with that result, despite 2 good performances away to Manchester United and Everton, we are now 5 games in a row without a win, which isn't ideal. Keep in mind, that win was against Liverpool at Anfield. So, what we're going to do, a couple of days out from the game, is set up our lineup and our tactic for the game against Manchester City. Right, so this is the lineup we can go with. We're going to switch to our cautious mentality. I'm hopeful that having O'Connell out there might mean we're a little bit better, and maybe we make him complete forward. We'll have a look at that in a minute because Mulgard will come back and play a different role, but we might look at adapting some of these roles and some of these descriptions to be a little bit different for when we're at home and in our positive mentality, or when we're playing teams lower in the division. We might go to 2 attacking strikers just to try and get Sosa and Mulgard when he's fit, a little bit more support. We might do a little bit different with our wingers and the way that they're trying to support the game, but we will figure out how to do better against teams at our level because that's what's really killing us at the moment. Anyway, before we do that, we got a decent tactic figured out for top 6 sides. So we're going to jump forward to the game against Manchester City now. Alright, so just like that, we're a few days ahead. Carlo Ancelotti's Manchester City are playing a 4-4-1-1. They've still got Felix Passlack from Norwich on the right there. They've got ex-Napoli goalkeeper Moret in goal. I'm probably butchering the pronunciations for all of them, but they've got some real quality players. This Krstić guy, phenomenal. This Kevin guy at the 10, amazing. For us, we bring in Colbass at the box-to-box role and O'Connell at the 10, which is great because they are both exceptional players, and hopefully we can see a bit of an improved performance, at least defensively. Because I'm just going to calmly tell everybody, let's just say good luck. Go out there and pull off an upset. No one cares. We have done better against the top 6 sides, but also Tottenham beat us 7-1, so anything could happen in this one. But you are guaranteed highlights one way or the other. First highlight of the game, Moret goes long. It should be tidied up by Holden, and is. Aidan Graydon's been injured for about 3 months, which has also been a struggle, but Holden hasn't done badly. Holden's been fine. He's given the ball away cheaply there, though. And Herbs now with the long ball over the top. McDonald heads it straight to Krstić when he had nobody around him. Cut inside to Reece. Harrington with a good tackle. It comes back to Krstić, to Kevin now at the top of the box. No one goes to him. He gets the strike away, and thankfully Rojak gets down and pushes it around the post. Martinez to take the corner. Deep one across. Doherty chases it all the way to the other side. Finds Azolina to Doherty. Back to Asuko. And that brings an end to the highlight. So there's still a danger there because they've just got the individual quality to skip round players. And that's what makes it such a battle. So no further highlights, but 30 minutes in we have used our demand more instruction and most have responded positively. Kevin now with a deep free kick. Backstick runners. Doherty smashes that one home. Kieran Doherty, his 3rd goal of the season. It was a good ball in, and we've consistently had issues with that far post runner. And let's check it out in 3 dimensions. It looked like a good ball, and it looked like an even better finish. Yeah, he peels off, gets on his left peg, puts it hard and low across the goalkeeper. I think it was Greshey, the winger, that was supposed to be marking in there, and they will go into half-time, a goal to the good. Alright, I'm going to pull out the hairdryer aggressively. I expect to see a much better showing from you in the second half. Everyone seems fired up, which is good. I'm going to leave us on cautious, but I'll give it 15 minutes. We can still score on cautious, but we don't do enough to keep the ball, and I think that's the shortcoming of it at the moment. We have got an immediate highlight here. Sosa looked for a second like he was going to get in, but the highlight is brought to a close. And that would see us drop down to 19th spot. If not for the sheer inaptitude of West Ham this season, who are currently drawing with Arsenal, we would be down towards bottom spot. Wolves still hanging in there, 0-0 draw with Norwich. Swansea still hanging in there, 0-0 with Everton. Stoke still hanging in there, 0-0 with Newcastle. So none of the other sides have conceded yet. In fact, we're in the 51st minute, and this is the only goal scored today as far as the latest scores go. We've got another highlight here. Doherty to take, played forward to Reece, who cuts inside. Azolina to Irbies, back to Azolina, to Rice. Kevin out to Asuko, deep ball to Passlack. Azolina at the top of the box. They're just playing it around here, and Martinez strikes from the corner and thankfully puts that one just over. Here we go. Highlight from Rojak. It's going to start with him. They've immediately coughed the ball back up. Kevin with the deep, good ball in behind. Krstić comes out to it, and thankfully it had beaten everyone, and it just clips the base of the post and goes out. So whatever we're doing tactically isn't quite working. So we're going to mix it up. We're going to go back to our positive structure. Filtering by rating, there's a couple of players who aren't playing that well. Kolar has struggled, so we're going to take him off of Vlachos. George Sosa, better than 6.2 he got last time out, but still only 6.5, so we'll bring on Orifu. And then even split between Sullivan and Harrington. I'll take off Sullivan and we'll bring on Kevin Simpson. But yeah, it's always tough when you're trying to make subs and there's quite a few different players that have struggled and gone backwards in terms of match rating. It makes it more difficult to think of where you've got to try and fix everything. But hopefully those 3 players can get a response for us, and hopefully switching to our positive mentality will also help us create some opportunities. Let's use the Get Creative shout a couple of minutes early, but still should have the same impact. And it does. Everyone seems inspired by it. Can we try and find a highlight here? Can we try and nick something to get us back to level pegging? Here we go, Holden with a free kick from the top of the box. He gets it on target, it spills back out. Colbass was in the area, but they managed to hook it away. Some sort of positive response, that's all we wanted to see, and we've finally had a highlight. Chiesa with a free kick from the sideline, finds Rice. Zivanovic with a great tackle. It comes out to Chiesa again though, who I think scored a few against us last time we played. Good crossfield switch to Kramer. No one gets out to him quick enough. Martinez goes front post, and the referee's blows his whistle, so I dare say he's going to go have a look at VAR and give a penalty here, which is very disappointing. But welcome to the way that my life has gone for the last week or so, just watching VAR reviews, because they take fucking forever in terms of animation. You giving a penalty or not? He's given a penalty, of course you have. It'll be about, I think, the 10th penalty we've given away via VAR review so far this season. One elite striker, Harold Klump comes off, another one replaces him. Let's have a look. Paslak is going to take, and the keeper doesn't even move. I'm not mad at the keeper, I'm just mad at our current form, which is really upsetting. So here's back-end context for you guys. Sometimes you'll play the game and you'll get to a point you think this is a good point to stop. Other times you'll play the game, you'll fire it back up, the team will be playing well, and then for no reason whatsoever, their form will just go to shit. Or you'll reload your save, and when you were playing quite well, when you were picking up points, when you did have good stability in terms of defensive structures and stuff, the game will just stop being able to clean sheets, your form will go out the window and you'll start getting smashed around like this. Look at this stat line. 33 shots, 10 on target, 56% of the ball, despite playing away from home, despite us using mentalities that are supposed to be designed to see us keep the ball. Just very frustrating. And seeing us down there in 19th isn't something that I've had to be accustomed to at all throughout this series. So I think what we're going to do is probably start using our cautious mentality a bit more liberally. Maybe as our default, and only moving to positive when we know we're doing well or when we know we need to chase a goal, just to try and get us through the next run of games where we play a lot of the teams around the same level as us. So we're going to play Stoke, we need to beat them. We're going to play West Ham, we need to beat them. We need to beat Swansea, we need to beat Wolves, we need to beat Blackburn, we need to beat Crystal Palace, we need to beat Leicester. We've lost twice to Leicester, so that's not happening. But we need to beat Southampton. We need to start picking up points to get us out of this relegation battle. All right, I've got a highlight here, but dare I say it's just going to be the referee blowing full time. They've hooked the ball away and the referee calls full time. So a 2-0 defeat, a 3-0 defeat and a 2-0 defeat. The two episodes that we've aired so far for our first season in the Premier League have been heavy defeats both times. Let's look at the positive, right? Last episode, we conceded 7 goals. This episode, we've only conceded 6. We've conceded 5, so that's a massive improvement. Disappointed, could have got us out of the relegation zone. They've all responded positively, but then we'll go out and get fucking belted next time out anyway, so I'm not sure what the point of any of these talks is. Alright, the other positive we can take is that we've still got Benny Mulgard to come back from his injury. He's been excellent, probably our best player this season, and once we can get him in some form playing up front with George Sosa, who is arguably the best player in the squad, that'll be great. Maguire's going to come back from Asian Cup duty, which is where he's at with Australia, and we've also got Aidan Graydon, who's our best fullback, coming back from 3 months out with injury as well. Not that Holden's been bad, but once we can get our first choice 11 back out there again for a stretch of games, I do think we can pick up points. I'm not panicking just yet because there are so many players that I'm looking forward to getting back. And if I can pick up one extra central midfielder, like a high quality, high potential central midfielder, this transfer window I think will be in good stead. So I'm not panicking just yet. And you guys are getting a bit of visibility here into how slow this thing is loading. We're 13 seasons in to a custom database that has 11 divisions in it. 11 tiers, a whole bunch more divisions in it. There's a few that I've taken out, but it is chugging along. Oh, that is ugly to look at. But positive being, I don't think it's going to take 1 or 2 results to really get us up as high as 14th. So, if we can get those couple of wins, we're going to be in a much better scenario. Manchester City coast pass #United. It's hard not to agree. Okay, fans criticise in the mix of tactics. Seems to be known hashtags poor run of form, blah, 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 blah. Reluctant to change our 4-4-2 approach. See, you say that, but the shape stays the same. But our mentalities are constantly switching. Our individual instructions are constantly switching. Our player roles are constantly switching. It's just the shape that I keep consistent so that we aren't chopping and change. And spade's a spade. Look at all this success that I have brought to your... Fuck the fans. Fuck the comment section for whatever #United videos they're actually broadcasting in 2031. But look at all that green, look at all those promotions, look at all those league titles. You don't know what you're talking about. So speaking of, Benny Mulgard, 7 days to 2 weeks remaining before he's back. Aidan Graydon, 6 to 12 days, so it is going to get better for us. Mark Maguire is back from Asian Cup duty on the 10th of February, so he's going to miss most of January depending on how Australia does, and Australia should win it, which has me thinking about what we're going to do for the next episode. So I'm kind of thinking we're either going to come back and play... So what games are the most important for the relegation battle? Right, so one of two things is going to happen. If we can't turn around our form and fix it up a little bit and find a way to beat the sides around us, we're going to get stuck in this relegation battle, and we're going to come back and play the games in February against Swansea and Watford. If we actually do turn it around a little bit, get those players back, start to pick up a bit of form, we're going to come back at the end of the season and do the last two games, which is Liverpool, who we've already beaten once, and West Ham, who are the worst team in the division. And hopefully those two games are there to secure our survival and to keep us in the division. The added additional thing is that the FA Cup's there. We want to do well in that because we need the prize money. And at the same time, like, we want, to put ourselves in a good situation, a winning platform to then recruit for next season to try and bring players in. But first we need to guarantee our league survival. So if things are still going poorly, we'll be back for Swansea and Watford. If things are going well, we'll come back and do the games against Liverpool and West Ham, because effectively it'll just be about securing promotion. And then I think that also means that episode's going to come out on Monday, which the other part we have to start thinking about is when FM20 is actually going to release the beta version, because we'll effectively cease this series as soon as that happens. So I'm thinking if we do... No, let's just jump ahead to the end of the season. Let's not worry about coming back for Swansea and Watford. Let's go and play about 15 games. Come back for the game against Liverpool and West Ham, our last games of season 13. Do a little bit of a season review in that one as well. Fingers crossed, either plan to drop down into the Championship, get promoted again so that we finish the series in the Premier League, or guarantee our Premier League survival, have a good off-season where we can stabilise and set ourselves up for success next year, and have one last crack in the last season before the release of Football Manager 2020, because that'll give us an episode for Season 14 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 more episodes, 1 more season. If the beta comes out on that Friday, fantastic, we've finished the season and we've finished the series in the best possible situation. And if it doesn't come out until the week after, we can squeeze 1 more third season in the Premier League. I'm thinking through it out loud as we do it now, and I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to jump ahead, fast forward just a little bit, play some games off screen, come back for the games against Liverpool and West Ham, guarantee our survival in those matches, fingers crossed. And worst case scenario, if we are going down, we'll go down as a group and we'll rebuild and try and come back up from the Championship in the last season of the series. As always though, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's the portion that I appreciate more than anything else. Throw a like on the video if you are enjoying the series, or just to try and give me some sort of managerial support. I'm putting up with shit from the fans all over the place, so if you guys want to help me out, that would be very much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be kept up to date on videos as they're released, particularly as we get towards FM20 and the content that's going to come with that. You can follow _FM on Twitter to be kept up to date to all different stuff that we do within the FM community, and just to see interactions with a whole bunch of different people that we have there. But as always, I've been Sean, this has been In The Mixer, and don't you ever forget, even now in times of need, to hashtag it.